Hello everybody, thanks for subscribing and watching the video. Just like to sort of talk you through the beginnings of my layout that I have in the garage and how it basically came from what it was to what it is today. So I'll start off, I'll introduce the other hobby that shares a garage with the layout. The railway runs around the side of the car. It's a 1973 Vauxhall Viva 1800 automatic. Something I'll talk about in another video someday probably. Yeah, focusing back on the layout. Started the layout when my youngest son was born, Ryan. It started off from basically the window bay and ran down one wall. As you can see, it ran along from Rosgill, which is the main station where most of the rolling stock's kept. Station's roughly based on Keighley station, with the amount of platforms it has and everything. But as I say, very roughly sort of combination of Keighley and Bridge North with the engine sheds behind. The line ran off down the side of the garage, as I said, to a small sort of intermediate station roughly based on Gothland, which is Pembley Bridge, which you'll see in the photos there. And the line then continued on down originally just up to the up and over door, but was eventually extended across the up and over door with a lift out section that now has the Ryandale Viaduct on there, which again you'll see later on in the video. So I started putting in the cuttings and the road bridges and everything once the track was down. And then the line ran through the tunnel and over the level crossing. And then eventually on over Pembley Bridge, which you'll see in a moment. That's the one there where the plaster was made up to use the riverbanks, and then a black piece of perspex was put in to make the river itself. Once it was all down, test trains over the top of it to make sure it was all level and there was no fear of any derailments. And then we went back to creating the platforms back at Rosgill. A wee bit high, but to be fair, when you see it with the trains running, you don't really notice it. Started to dress the platforms up, tested with a few buildings, which I decided to move then on to Pembley Bridge station. And then we started to build all the cutting and everything around Pembley. There's the cutout for the signal box you can just see there marked. And here's a scene of it operating now. Demonstration freight train running during a gala, all by the Fairburn tank. Soundtracks are added in, by the way. The layout's not a digital layout, unfortunately. It's too expensive. So I continued on. We go through down where Hartlow sidings are now, which is through the short tunnel from Pembley. You'll see there. And then the train emerges from the tunnel again here. Or enters the tunnel rather. Coal train with a J39 on it. The cattle dock's all scratch built there as well on the left hand side of the photograph. That was again another piece of chipboard, cut out much the same way as I did the platforms, and then I used a bit of fencing over the top to sort of customise my own cattle dock. And then of course Ryandale Viaduct, which was cut out of a piece of solid wood, putting the gap between the two boards, basically lowered a baseboard to the right height, or depth rather. Built the bank sides up there with a chicken wire again and everything. Test drove a couple of locos over. Did a Photoshop there with a couple of back scenes on just to see what it was going to look like. Finished product. And then we have it operating with a train going across. I believe this is a Britannia. No, it's not. It's a Stania. And there's a then and now photo coming up of Pembley Bridge. during construction, and then now with the Ivet pulling in with the freight train. The buildings have since changed. I've now got Settle Carlisle building on the opposite platform as well to match, make it more of a sort of LMS themed station, with the line being based on the Lancashire-Yorkshire border. Back to a then and now with Pemberley Bridge, the bridge itself. You stand here rushing across with a straight through train. Another then and now photograph. This is during the construction of Pemberley Bridge Station. That track's now the running track down to the yard at Hartnell sidings. There we go. There's the A4 running across that piece of track that the Black 5 was stood on in the photograph. Then and now photo of the cutting being constructed. All grassed over. And the end class coming down with the train. That now is all covered with trees as well, either side of that cutting. Created a woodland on there as well. The sheep have all moved house, you'll be pleased to know they're not in amongst all the trees. That's it, thanks very much for watching.